Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Daniel Essick, and this is Podcast for Life. Now, as is usual, each week we're having some technical difficulties, and our music is off, so we're not going to be able to play the score. And when it rains, it pours. Right at the last minute, I know you're all looking forward to our interview with Stephanie Mills, celebrating her 2 years recovery. Um, I regret to inform you that Stephanie just informed me that she got called into work early. So, as a result, she's not going to be able to make it with us today. She wishes everyone well. So, what we're going to do is we are going to do an open line. For those of you who are on Get Vocal, you'll see three squares that say grab this spot. You just hit the grab this spot, you'll come on, and then we'll be able to sit and talk back and forth. Those of you on Facebook, YouTube, uh, or Patreon, or the other uh, platforms, uh, you can call live. You can call us while we're broadcasting live, which it is Saturday, 4 o'clock. And you can call at 606 622. I'm sorry, 606 545 19, and I'll be happy to put you right on the air. Lines are open and ready and waiting for you to call. Today's episode is sponsored in part by NAMI Southeast Kentucky. NAMI is an education and advocacy group dedicated to mental illness. National Alliance for Mental Illness is pretty much my go-to for a lot of information. Um, it is where I do a lot of my advocacy, um, and I'm quite active in organizing the Southeast chapter. And today's episode is sponsored in part by NAMI Southeast Kentucky. For more information, what you can do is go to our Facebook group, which is NAMI, NAMI, Southeastern KY, and that'll put you right to our Facebook group. And for more information from there, you can go to NAMI Kentucky. That's NAMIKY.org, or you can go to NAMI.org for the national organization. Um, as is usual, I do appreciate your support by subscribing. We have a GoFundMe page, Podcast for Life. You can also donate there. And pretty much we're in a good spot as far as the bills go. So we got the expenses down low enough where we have enough going on, but we could always use more. And the more we get, the more we can do. Um, so what do we talk about today? While we're waiting for people to call and with what's on their mind. Well, the thing is I've been seeing a lot of information regarding an uptake in cases. Here in Kentucky, we are breaking records in the numbers of new cases. The deaths are still under 10 per day on average. I've asked both the governor and the Department of Health for information going back to day one of the pandemic so that I could see where the trends are, where the trends are going, and see if I can forecast where the curve is. Uh, I'm thinking I missed something somewhere because I took a look at it, and statewide we were getting like 120, 140 cases. And then the next time I look, which was after the election, now we're getting thousands of cases. So yeah, I'm kind of wondering if maybe some of these numbers aren't being exaggerated. Um, the way the election is gone, pretty much I'm viewing most everything in government with some suspicion. Uh, I believe that Kentucky has done its very best to provide a free, fair, and legitimate election. But there are some states in the union where I believe that there is widespread fraud, deception, uh, just all manner of evil going on. And where I'm understanding this is there are states that are starting to certify their elections, which that's all well and good if there are no issues. But if there are issues, then they shouldn't be certifying. They need to resolve all the issues before they're able to certify. And some of these states are showing 1, 2, and even 300% overvote. So are people voting 2 and 3 times, or are are they stuffing the ballot box? And there's enough of this going on to where I'm really concerned. Um, I'm really concerned about it. If we don't have a free, fair, and legitimate election nationwide, then how do we know that we have a legitimately elected president? How do we know that the people's vote is being counted accurately? How do we know that the Electoral College has been uh, has performed their duty in accordance with law? Yeah, after all, it's the election law, and the states create the election law, and it's the election law that is what governs the elections. And when it comes to the president, the Electoral College meets and votes, and from there they declare the winner and certify the president elect, and then we get ready to do the inauguration. But if the vote is not legitimate, then how can any other part of the process be legitimate? Now, what I'm understanding is Donald Trump has filed suit in several states and also in the federal system, and their cases are being given priority, and the cases are beginning to be heard, and evidence is being presented, backing up a lot of the claims of fraud. Um, and at the forefront of the at the forefront of it are voting machines. Now, the voting machines were provided by Dominion Voting Company, and from what I understand, there are quite a few problems with it. There are reports of problems before the election. Um, and there are also reports of problems, possible problems during the election. We're just going to have to wait and see what happens in court, and see if we do have a legitimate election. We need to have all the disputes settled before the results are certified. We do need to have all the disputes settled to the greatest extent um, before the Electoral College meets. And yeah, if there are investigations that need to be put forward, then that's the way it's going to have to shake out. Um, I'm just trusting in God that everything goes the way that it should be. And I'm hearing in the debate that people are convinced that Donald Trump is the true winner of the election, with the fraud notwithstanding. Um, and they base this in large part, and it kind of makes sense. Donald Trump broke all records in the number of votes that he got. And then here's Biden claiming to have 10 million more votes. Uh, could the turnout have been that great to do that legitimately? That's the question that needs to be answered. And with all the reports of overvotes being what they are, yeah, I'm not going to tell you which ones I've confirmed, which ones I haven't. But I will say which ones. I will say that I have looked at a few. I haven't looked at all of them, but I've looked at enough to come to the belief that, yeah, there's some monkey business going on with the election. And I'm waiting for the cases to wind through the courts and the judges make decisions. And I'm looking forward to everything going to the Supreme Court. And that's really where things are going to get interesting. I would love for the Supreme Court to allow cameras into the courtroom during the hearing of the election case, uh, in an effort to increase transparency. That would really do a lot to re-legitimize the election. Um, the thing is it really doesn't make any sense to me that Donald Trump has done so much good for this nation and did not get reelected. And pretty much that's my opinion. And now with Stephanie not showing up, we're going to celebrate her 2 years of being in recovery. So now would probably be a good time to talk about drug addiction, mental health, and where we're at with those issues. Uh, Mental illness and drug addiction basically are very closely interlinked. They both depend on an alteration of one's mind and one's thinking. Um, Mental illness is a natural illness, disability, handicap, whatever, what have you, uh, where one's mind gets out of kilter. Uh, okay, putting it in computer terms, malfunction. you know, um, and drug addiction. You choose to take drugs, and then you have malfunction. You have similar malfunctions, and you become dependent. And both illnesses need to be treated. Yes, I call drug addiction what it is, even though I believe it is self-inflicted. It's still an illness. Yeah, it comes to a point where you no longer have control over it. You surrender your control, and you surrender your control over to the drugs, and then the drugs sit there and they want to be fed, and you know, and then you keep going back, even though you know it's going to hurt you, and even though you know it's going to kill you. and rationalize it. But the thing is death is never a good thing. Yes, it comes to all of us, but the thing is, we don't need to rush it. There is so much for each of us to do, so much for each of us to say, so much for each of us to fight for that yeah, there's plenty of work to go around for everybody. Plenty of things to do. Find something you like and you do it, and as you do it, it doesn't seem like it's such hard work. Yeah, if you do what you love, you'll never have to work a day in your life. And it's so nice when you get paid for your labor. You know, farmer loves planting the crops, watching them grow, taking care of them through the year, and harvesting them at the end of the year. He takes great satisfaction when he sells his crops to the people so that they can eat as well. And yeah, he takes great pride in that, as he should. And farmers especially deserve our respect because I think they're the hardest working people around. Uh, I'm getting off the topic. It's supposed to be drug addiction, I believe. 1 in 5 people suffer from some sort of mental illness, and 3 out of 5 of those people end up becoming addicted to drugs. Now, actually, whichever comes first, whichever comes last, it really doesn't matter because you have the concept of the chicken and the egg. Which comes first, the chicken or the egg? Well, if the egg came first, it hatches out the chicken, and then the chicken lays more eggs, and so on and so forth. But the thing is, you need the chicken to lay the egg to get the egg, and for the egg to hatch. So, yeah, which came first? That's a matter of faith, and that's of us to decide. Uh, which came first, the mental illness or the drug addiction? Oftentimes it's a toss-up. Oftentimes you can't tell which came first. But what you can tell is which one is more prevalent, which one is needs the worst attention. Is it drug addiction or is it the mental illness? You know, it is very common for somebody to be dually diagnosed with between mental illness and drug addiction. It is also possible to be addicted to drugs and not suffer from a mental illness. It is also quite possible to be addicted to drugs and suffer from an undiagnosed mental illness. So when it comes to drug addiction, you do have to deal with the mental illness portion of it too. Um, that's where you get the greatest success in getting people to off of the drugs and staying off the drugs. And nobody's going to make those changes until they are ready. So if you know somebody that's addicted to drugs, encourage them to quit, but also realize that they will have to sit there and reach a level to where they realize that they have a problem before they're going to change. When they realize that something's not working, that's when they're going to be motivated to change. And I know the hardest thing to do is watch somebody that you love just spiral down the hill. Um, and let me encourage you, they will get help. Just keep them in your prayers, keep encouraging them, and keep praying that God let them know the help is available before they die. That's my prayer for everybody, you know. let everybody know that help. We don't need to die from suicide. We don't need to die from drug addiction. We don't have to die from drug overdose. We don't have to die from any unnatural cause. What we can do is we can celebrate life. We're not promised tomorrow. We're only promised today. And if we live each day like it's our last, we'll have a chance to keep happy. Let's not give thought for tomorrow. Let tomorrow take care of itself. Let's render to God what is due God. And tomorrow is one of the things that is in God's purview. Where we've been, that's for our learning. That's where many of our decisions were made. We can't go back there and change it. The only thing we can change is our present. And what we can do is we can live each day trying to be the best we can be. Be the best people, be the best fathers, brothers, sisters, grandparents. I'm coming into the portion of my faith where I'm realizing that what life is all about is being a service to others. What you do is first tenet of business, you find a need and fill it. And then what you do is you charge a fair price and people will pay for it. That's the first tenet of business. Society should be no different. We're in it for each other. You know, most of you believe in the Bible, and I'm going to bring something out of the Bible. It is written that the two greatest commandments are to love God and love your neighbor. You love God because He is the Creator. He's given us our life. He has given us our due. We love the Messiah, Jesus Christ. He has conquered sin and death and paid the way back to God and shown us how God wants us to live. And we love our neighbors as ourselves. We forgive. You know, Mind you, we don't forget, but we forgive. We sit there, we don't, no longer is it an eye for an eye. It is, okay, you want my coat? Here it is. You know, and you want my shirt? There you go. I'll go get another one. You need it now better more than I do. The thing is when we love each other and we take care of each other, we do get ahead. We get ahead spiritually, we get ahead physically, we get ahead mentally. Makes us feel good to give to others, to be of service to others, uh, to help others. I know my happiest days are when I'm working with a client that I've been working for a while. Usually it's a couple of years, and they get to the point where they don't need me anymore. And we have those discussions as to what life is all about and where they're heading in life and you know what they're going to do with their life. And it makes me so happy when I see the light bulbs come on that they're realizing that everything that I've taught them and everything that they've applied in their life, that they can continue to apply in their life because they are based on sound principles. And then the light goes on and they go on to uh, have productive lives for themselves and they're happy. Them being happy makes me happy. And the thing is yeah, I, yeah, I've got plenty of clients that have graduated like that. And I look back on that and I go, yeah, this worked. Okay. I made mistakes along the way. Yeah. So, okay, this worked. This didn't work. We don't do what doesn't work too much. We do what works more. As much of that as I can do is what I do. And there's enough out there of what works. And I've been at it for long enough to know what works and what doesn't. I don't advise. I'm not a licensed therapist. I don't do therapy. I don't tell people what to do. But I do ask them the questions to get them to examine what they're about to do and to see if they can think of better ways to do it. And most of the time, I'll find that people already have their answers. It's just a matter of getting to them, thinking about it, giving it some thought, teaching them to look at it from a different perspective than through their mental illness or through their circumstances. Oftentimes, a new perspective does help. And when you look at a problem from a different direction, you have a better handle on it. When you have a better handle on a problem, you get through life better. And as you get through life better, you get more satisfied. And then you get this snowball of positivity. And the more positive you are, the snowball gets bigger and bigger and bigger. Oh, and the thing is, hey, happiness, you can have a snowball of happiness or you can have a snowball of evil. It's up to you. We all have those choices. We have a choice in the way we go. And the thing is I hate anybody trying to rob anybody of those choices, and having those choices, that is our liberty. That is our freedom. We have freedom to choose. And when people steal our right to choose, they are stealing our liberty and they are stealing our ability to pursue our happiness. And they are actually stealing our happiness. Yeah, just some things to think about. Let me exhort you to have faith. You have faith in God, whether you have faith in yourself, whether you have faith in the higher power, you know, it doesn't matter. We all need to have faith in something. My fear is that Joe Biden gets inaugurated, he becomes president. There's not much any of us can do about it. And then what they will do is they will slowly and surely destroy this country by destroying the Constitution. They will destroy our way of life. They will destroy our liberty. They will rob us of our ability to choose. But the thing is, we can all stay strong during this time. And for Joe Biden, it'd probably be only 4 years that he'll be in office. And then the next election, hopefully, we'll have better people running, people that'll take us back to liberty, people that'll take us back to the roots of our nation, back to the founding principles of our country, so that we're able to live together in harmony, celebrating our similarities and coming together, and even celebrating our differences, which are just as important. You know, the differences that we have is what keeps us all sharp. You know, it keeps us all engaged. Iron sharpens iron. And the thing is when you're building upon the truth, you're building upon the truth. The truth is what's going to stand above all else. Rest of the world will burn, but the truth will stand. So what we all have to do is just realize what is true and what is good. We all have to decide what good we're going to do. Now, let me apologize because I'm going to cut this week's episode a little bit short. Um, I've had something happen last week and I had some muscle strain and it's really killing me. And I'm going to need to cut this short so I can address that. But the thing is above all else, let us pray the will of God, the will of the God of liberty, move its way forward. And if He so blesses us, provide us with a government that will celebrate liberty and not bondage. But no matter which comes, let us all have the ability to love each other, to take care of each other, and to support each other through the hard times. Because it is that support through the hard times that is very most important. Our support of one another is the stronghold of the people. And we're going to make it through. It might not be comfortable, but we'll make it through. And this is Daniel Lessig, and this is Podcast for Life.